I think she just left. Okay, we are going to start immediately. So, so I welcome you to this section. So today we are going to look into some understanding concerning grants and highlight some tips on how to increase your chances of success when applying grants. And also we have two grant program you're going to look into, and I will also mention a lot of things concerning those opportunities to enable us to what to apply for them. But first of all, there are things we need to understand. There are things we need to understand because our understanding to this will also help us when applying for grants. There are several types of grants. There are several types of grants. They have the business grants. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. They have the business grants. So the business grants aim to support entrepreneurs, startups, existing business in launching and scaling or expanding their business or operation. So this kind of grant that focus on helping business to grow. So their goal is to help business to create jobs, help business to boost the economy, and also to push and promote the growth of enterprise. So that is their aim. So they give you funding to grow your business because they know that once you grow your business, the economy of the country or the society is also going to what? To increase. And also they know that once you are growing your business, you're also going to create job opportunities for people, for the society. So that's why they give you grants. So those kind of grant is what we call business grants. So there is also project grants because these are things that confuse a lot of people. There is also project grants. Now in project grants, they are more interested in funding a specific initiative or activity. They are more interested in funding a specific initiative or activities with clear objectives. Like example, if someone want to solve a problem on climate, so he will now create room for project grants so that people to fund activities on climate, activities that can bring about climate adaptation. So they bring out funding to fund those kind of opportunities. So this is what we called project grants. So usually most NGO fall into that areas. They apply for project grants. And not just only NGO, they're what they call social enterprise. A social enterprise is a business that targets towards creating an impact, a social impact. So those kind of business also fall into this kind of grants. And normal business also fall into it because sometimes there are some grant opportunities that are project grants, but they are targeting business owners. They are targeting enterprise. So that like there is an opportunity that is ongoing right now, the price grant or challenge. If you have a business, you can apply. If you have a NGO, you can apply. If you have a social enterprise, you can apply. But the grant is a project grant because it target a particular purpose, not really on you setting up a business, but you solving a particular problem through rendering an initiative or a program or an activities to solve that particular problem. So when you see this kind of grant, the way you write this grant differs from the way you write a business grant. Most people have and most people end up being disqualified in this kind of grant because of they write this kind of grant the way they write business grant. They are different thing. So the way you apply for this kind of grant differs because this kind of grant is a project. So they want you to bring in a solution that is smart. What I mean by smart is a solution that is specific, a solution that is measurable, a solution that have time bound, a solution that have time bound that within a particular period you implement it and it will end. So these are the kind of project, the kind of thing that the activities that they are looking at for you to what submit for them. So these are kind of grant they called what project grant. An example is pollination grant. We are going to talk about pollination grant in our class today. We also the price challenge that is currently going on. So it's an example of what a project grant. An example of a business grant is TEF, that is Tony Elumelu or Entrepreneurship Foundation. Is a pure business grant. So the way you apply for TEF is different from the way you apply for grants like pollination grant, the price challenge. I hope you are following. So we also have the research grants. Now, this research grant is also different from project grant or business grants. Mostly, research grants are grants that support that is funds that are released to support all this scientific research, academic research, or field-based research. Maybe that target towards contributing to a new knowledge or innovation or to bring to change a policy or to support a particular policy. So this kind of grants are what we call the research grants. So the approach for research grant also differs from what project grants and also business grants. So mostly those that apply for research grants are universities, researchers, PhD students, some NGOs into research, or even some business into research. There are some business that also into research, so they can also what apply for research grants. So in research grant, they give you funding to cover the kind of researches you do, the data you implement, and so many other uh, field works. So these are where they support you more on. So your understanding in these three type of grants helps you in following every grant application, because when you're applying, you first thing you are going to do is to my project, what I have in mind, is it in line with that particular grant? Because if you have a business idea and you draft a proposal in line with a that is for a grant that is a research grant, you're not going to win it. Or if you submit a business kind of grant idea or narrative to a grant that is a project grant, you're not going to win it. So you must first of all understand, is this a business grant, or is this a project grant, or is this a research grant? It will give you a clear understanding of which narrative or the best method to what to follow those applications. Hope you are following. If you understand what I said, I want you to respond to it. Okay, that's good. Okay, all right. So the next thing we are going to look at is 4 tips to help you win grants. So I'll be releasing it there are several tips. I'll be releasing it bit by bit in each webinar class we have. So because I want this class to be more of a practical base in what we are doing. So tips that can help you to win grant. Number one is what? Understanding the funder's requirement, priority. So when I want to apply for any grant, the first thing I do is to study the funders. I will study them very, very well. Study their guidelines. Go to their website, study their guidelines very, very carefully. Understand their mission, understand their focus area, understand the value that they are looking out for, and the impact. they are looking out for. I make sure that I spend time very, very well on this. I always there's one area that I don't joke with. One of them is if you check most of all these their grant opportunities, they always some of them used to post their selection criterias. Now these selection criterias are what the funders use to mark each grant application. So it's an expo of what they are expecting from you. So I always pick interest in that area. I look at it. Some of them will tell that they want a project that is scalable. Once they use that kind of word for you, you know that if your project or your solution is targeting 500 people, means it's not scalable. I hope you are getting my point. So you have to make sure that what your proposal or your solution is what is scalable. So these things are the selection criteria helps gives you an expo of what they are looking out for. So I like spending time in there to understand what they are looking out for. So another thing I also always do is I like checking their past previous grant they have given to people. It's sometimes some funders do post it on their website. So if they do post it on their website, you go there and it will help give to it and look at all those people because they always mention their names, mention the project that they run. Sometimes they put their website there. So it will give you a clue of the kind of project that they fund. The price challenge always do that effectively well. So it will give you a clue of what the kind of project that they fund. So the first thing is for you to understand the funder's priority, understand their mission, focus area, value, impact, goal. Then after you have understand it, you ask yourself a question: how do I help them achieve this goal? Because in you need to start seeing when you are writing grant, remove yourself from that I need this money. See yourself as if you are partnering with them. That is the best way to win grant. Remove that mentality that I need their money because it makes you start thinking like a beggar. So you end up making not to be innovative. But the best question you ask yourself, how can I help these people achieve their goal? Because you are their partners. They don't have the time to achieve that project, that to solve that problem. But you are telling them that I have that time to solve that problem. All I need is the money to what? To solve the problem. So they buy that time with their money. So you are going so you have to think of how can I help them achieve their goals. It helps you to be innovative. It helps you to develop a proposal that stands out. So if you look at your business or your organization, you find out that it's not in line in what you are doing, you cannot achieve their goals, or because it doesn't match, you don't need to apply for it. Most times I don't waste my time on applications that doesn't match with what my organization is pushing, because if it doesn't match, there is no need of me putting it there because it will not scale through. So there are so many grant opportunity available on a daily basis, so I don't waste my time applying for all. I only apply for those that what in line that aligns to what my organization is doing. So the same thing I want to start thinking that way. So after you have analyzed this thing, check, is it in line with what your organization is doing? Or is there a way you can make your organization to offer that solution? If you have analyzed and found that it's not possible, so you can just leave that grant, is not for you. There are other opportunities that are coming up. So, but if it's for you, you have to make sure that your proposal stand out. It solve that their solution. It provides what they are looking at for. So I always tell people that no matter how innovative your solution is, if it does not align with the founder's mission, is useless. If it doesn't align with the founder's mission, it is useless. So that is the first step. Now, the next thing is narrative. During your narrative, make sure that what you always tell a story. Story have a way of dragging emotion. Don't just put only data. Data is okay, But when you share stories, compelling stories, it helps the funders to not just see the problem, it helps them to also perceive, feel it. They become so emotional attracted to what the solution you are offering, and it helps them due to they are emotionally attracted to it. Now they end up believing in what you are saying. They believe it because you share a connection that makes them to believe in it, not just data. So I always tell people, always have some stories. There are so many compelling stories from you to back up whatever narrative you are pushing in any grant application or proposal. So it matters a lot. So the story must not be your story. It must not be your story. It might be a story of an incident related to that problem that have happened before or in the past. So you can take that story and work with it. Hope you are following. If what I'm saying here is making sense, I want you to indicate. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, that's good. So the next thing is have a clear, visible plan. When you are describing your project or your solution, make sure that it is specific. These are where people fail a lot. Make sure that the problem or the solution you are presenting is what is specific. When I mean about specific, you talk about who is this problem going to solve. What is this? This project? Who is this problem? This project targeting? What is the project all about? When is it going to be implemented? Where is it going to be implemented? How is it going to be implemented? So all these things must be defined when you are describing your project. I will explain more on it during when we are doing some case studies. So it must be smart, it must be specific, it must be achievable, it must have a time ban. It helps them to see your project and see the solution you are offering and see the impact of what you are offering. Like example now, you cannot target a project that will solve the whole Africa or the whole country. So it might solve a particular targeted uh, community or a particular state or a particular country related to a particular issue. It's not something that must be vague as in general that you will be targeting everybody. Those kind of project doesn't scale. I work with an NGO that is focusing more on malnutrition food, nutritious foods. So most of the projects we have applied for targeted northeast Nigeria because it's in the northeast Nigeria that you have people that are suffering from hunger crisis and malnutrition crisis. So we target most of our project in that area, and we have so many data and evidence and story to back up that solution. And so far it has been creating a lot of impact, and the solution have been winning a lot of grants. Why? Because it is targeted. We cannot target the whole Nigeria. We just targeted northeast of Nigeria. There are so many states in northeast that are suffering from what? Malnutrition. So we target on that. So make sure that your project or your solution is specific to a particular area because you cannot solve all problems. Hope you are following. So the next thing is what? They don't just fund your solution. They also want to see your capacity. They also want to see your capacity. Now, you you cannot partner with someone in the business if the person doesn't have that capacity. The same thing there. Funders cannot give you money if they don't see that capacity in you. So you must have to showcase to them that you have that skill, you have the expertise, you have the experience to what? To handle that solution. You as the founder, you must show that. You must also show them that what? Your team have that competent, are competent enough to what? To deliver that project or that solution. You must also show them that your organization have that system, is being structured in a way to what, to deliver that problem. And also so many other things that can help you to show is what, maybe assuming that you have done similar project before in the past, you also narrate to them, yeah, I've done something like this before and I have achieved great result. Showcase to them the result you what you achieve in the past with those things. Once they see that you have achieved something in the past before, it enable them to what, to have that trust in your project. And also, most times I encourage you to what, register that business. Yes, there are some opportunities that you can apply for if your business or your project or your organization is not registered. Yes, but they are limited. They are limited. So when your business is legally registered, it's make them see you and see that it makes them know that you are serious in what you are doing. So I'll encourage you, even though for those that doesn't have a registered business or an organization, should plan and make sure that what, you register it, because once you register it, it open more, it gives you more chances for more opportunities. And also in your application, always make sure that you find a way and what, attach success stories, testimonials. You in previous results you have achieved in the past, always sell out, always sell out. I've seen so many people that have won grant based on recommendation. They have so many success story in the past, and with that they can easily win. They have won a lot of grants. So these things matters a lot. I hope you understand what the point I just made. Okay, okay, that's good. So the next thing we are going to look out for, because I want us to be focused more, is we are going to look out for, there are two grant opportunity we are going to look out for. Two opportunities. One is one of the opportunity that Adeyemo sent to me. I told every one of you to send an opportunity you want us to work to look into in this webinar, and nobody sent any opportunity apart from Adeyemo. I hope I'm not misspelling your name. Please correct me if I'm doing that. Muna. Okay, okay. Muna. So there is an opportunity she sent to me, and that is what we are going to look at first. Then after that, we are going to look at pollination grant, because I want every one of us must, I say must apply for pollination grant, and we are going to apply for it this month. Yes, this month. We are just 12th, the 12th of this month. So before 30th of this month, everyone must what, apply for what, pollination grant. So, but for this, we are going to look at this opportunity she presented to us. She presented an opportunity from African Women's Development Fund. African Women Development Fund is an organization that is into they fund women's projects. They anything feminist, they carried it in their head. So they fund women projects. So now they present an opportunity, but that opportunity is not like a grant, it's a contract. But I've gone through it, which I'm going to play, which I presented there, is a contract. And in this contract, they seek a consultant to implement capacity strengthening activities for national feminist forums. I repeat again, they seek a consultant to implement capacity strengthening activities for national feminist forum. So the consultancy is expected to cover within the period of April to what, to September 2025. So from what I've studied, what they are looking for a consultant that they will partner with, a one consultant. So me on my own, when I see an African project like this that are looking for just one person, I don't like stressing myself. I'll tell you why. Reason is because of applications are much and just for only one person. I'll look at see if there are so many other opportunities that I can apply. But assume that they're up to 3, 4, 5, 10. I'll know that definitely I can try my chance. But for only one person, I don't like stressing myself in this kind of application because the application will be much, and most times they like giving based on recommendation. They like giving based on recommendation. So that's it. So, but I'll just give you a glance. And also, Muna, you didn't submit your organization profile. Could have helped me to understand more about your organization and whether I'll recommend you whether you apply for this program or not. Because from what I see from this program, they need a consultant to what to handle their to bring out a program or activities that will strengthen their national feminist forums, because they have national feminist school. I'll explain what national feminist forum is all about. Why I'm spending time in this, because the first thing before applying for any grant is to what understand what the funders are looking out for. That is the first thing. That's why most time, because if you get these things right, you get every other things right. So that's why most times I spend time to understand what the organization are looking out for, and what they're looking out for is what I'm just telling you now. So a national feminist forum is a forum of a gathering of female as all these activists, feminist activists. They gathered in each nation. Like in Nigeria, they have their own in Nigeria, they have their own in Senegal, and so many nations. So they always gather in a conference and they share so many initiatives, share so many trainings and so many and so forth. So they are looking for a consultant that will implement a program that will strengthen this gathering in each of these countries. So the consultant is going to draft out a program that will strengthen these activities of each countries. So they're not just looking for a consultant, they want a movement aligned African feminist facilitator. That's what I understand. Someone that to have that understanding of what their aim is, their objective is, and that person also is also a strong African feminist facilitator who can co-create solutions with this what with this their following. So what they expect you to do as that is applying is to you need to submit a technical proposal. A technical proposal is more detailed than just a proposal or a grant proposal. So it's more technical because it showcase in detail the kind of work you are going to do, your methodology, the phases of the works, and the kind of activities you are going to implement. And also the kind of proposal you are going to submit is a proposal that showcase your strength. In the proposal, you are going to also indicate that you have a strong understanding of what they want from your introduction. You are going to indicate that you have a strong understanding of what they want. You are also going to tell them that you are not just telling them that you will look at how the national feminist forums in Nigeria is working, how the national feminist forums in one or other two countries is working, and draw so many things there and tell them about those things, because this is through those things you tell them about those forums will let them you will let them know that you have a clear understanding of what these forums needs. So you must show them you are going to submit. So Muna, if you are more interested in this project, I will also you can after this class we will chat. I want you to send me your organization profile. So from there, I'll also give you more clue of how you can develop that technical proposal. and also how you can what tailor it in your CV so that you can increase your chance of what scaling through. So that's it. So I will stop here for this for now. So any other thing now will be based on your organization profile. Then I'll give you more details on it. So hope you are following. Moon, I hope you understand what I mean. Okay, all right. So the next thing we are going to look at for now is the pollination grant. So I will spend more time on that. The pollination grant, that is what I'm going to look at for now. Before we continue, I created two link. I created two Google link for this class because we are using the free version of the Google Meet. So and the free version is limited to 1 hour. So if we didn't finish up and this 1 hour elapsed, so I urge you all to also join with the second link. Hope you understand. So that's it. So pollination grants. So the pollination grant the is a grant that that is an organization that offers micro grants. The offer before is 1,000 US dollars, but right now they have reduced it to what, to 500 USD. So pollination grants always offer micro grants to volunteer led projects to volunteer led projects, any project that targets towards sustainability, towards community development, towards social impacts. They always fund that project. So it's a one thing about this grant is that it doesn't have a deadline. So they give $500 every day. So in a month, if a month is 30 months, so they offer 30 organization or 30 individual with what, 500 US dollar. So it doesn't have a deadline. So anytime you apply and submit, within 6 weeks, they go through your application. Hope you are following. So they fund one project per day. So that is what they do. So that's why I've seen a lot of Nigerians that have won this grant, and I've so many people I've know that have won this grant. So it's something that I encourage each and every one of you to apply. The beauty thing about this grant is that you don't need to have a registered business to apply for it. So you can, if you have a project, you can what, apply for it. Now, this pollination grant is an example of what, a project grant. It's an example of a project grant. So they are interested in you funding a project that what, creates social impact. Social impact. And mostly from what I've understand about them, they are more interested in what, community-based project. Any project that target a particular community and create an impact in a particular community, and the project is also scalable. So these are the kind of project that they are more interested in. So we all are going to think of a particular project. You are going to think of a particular project. You're going to what, apply with this grant. So it cut across all section. It cut across all section. So that is the first thing you need to understand concerning pollination grants. So another thing is, again, is what are they looking at for? One, they are looking out for a project that have a solution that have a genuine personal connection to the issue. That have a genuine personal connection. Let me explain this very well now. When I talk about genuine personal connection, is as if the problem you are solving is something that is related to you. That's what they mean. Something that you yourself, you are connected to, you yourself, you have experienced, you yourself, you are been affected with, you have affected, the thing have affected you, or there is something that is connected to you in that project. in that solution or problem. That is what it means by what a genuine personal connection. Now, I use an example here that, like the example now, when you are drafting this in your storytelling, you share a kind of story like, I grew up in a community where many children drop out of school because of early pregnancy. That experience shaped me, and now I run a girls mentorship program to prevent this in my village. Now, something like this now, I grew up, as in is connected to you. You observe that problem, that a lot of there are so many young teenage ladies that drop out from school because of early pregnancy. So it's a problem that you have what experience, so you are connected to it, and that's why it led you to what creating an initiative or a project that will what help to what prevent that problem from what occurring again in your village. So if you find, if from this thing you find out that the kind of project they are looking at for is a community based project, a project is that is in one of in one or two ways you are connected to. So, and all these things are things that you share as a story when you are narrating your when you are drafting your narrative. So, and most times when you see what genuine, you don't need to start fabricating stories. Make sure that it's genuine, because if it's genuine, it comes from your heart. It is connected with you. So because a lot of people when it come for storytelling, they will just start framing a lot of stories that are false. So, but what matters is that let it be genuine and let it be connected to you, because it will also showcase in all your what application or your narratives. Now, also apart from that, let the solution you are also applying with, let it have a strong bond with the local or or if it's a local community you're working with, let it have a strong bond with the community. You can mention the name of that community, mention it, let it have a strong bond with the community. If it's what you are doing is a digital something, also mention the visual community you are targeting. If it's Africa, mention it. If it's Nigeria, mention it. If a class of people you are targeting visually, mention it. So state it there. Also, let it be clear, resourceful budget, and a low overhead cost. Now, the money they are giving you is a small money, $500. So you don't need to, in your budget, don't need to start putting overhead costs. What did I mean by overhead costs? Mind you, from the beginning, what they are targeting is a volunteer-led project. When you talk about volunteer-led project, you know that what is a project that they don't want to start paying what staff. They don't want to what start paying staff. So if they don't want to start paying staff, and in your project you are putting payment of staff, you have already failed. I hope this what I'm saying is making sense. If it's making sense, I want you to indicate. If it's making sense, I want you to indicate. Okay, okay, that's good. So you must make sure that you state this very very clear in this application, in your budget. Make sure that you avoid over too so much overheads like payment of staff, so you don't need to put it here. So make sure that the project is led by volunteers. So the people you are going to recruit in that project, they are going to be volunteers. They are not going to be paid staff. So you're not going to be paying them for that work. So I make sure that what the project have a ripple effect. That is, the project can inspire others or can be expand, can scale. It can be scalable. So these are the things that they are looking out for. So make sure that also the work aligns with the values they are looking out for. What are those values? The compaction, sustainability, and inclusivity. What I mean by inclusivity is what, when you see something like inclusivity, they are looking at project that benefits underserved communities. Those underserved communities, it benefits them. Project that also benefits people that are disadvantaged or similar something like that. It must not be superlative, but all these things fall under the class of what inclusivity. And also promote project that promotes uh, female female or female involvement in the project. So these are the areas when you talk about inclusivity. So these are things that you must take note of in it. Now, eligibility criteria. You look at the eligibility criteria for this. Now, I've said before, it's going to be a project-led project. It's going to, project going to be a volunteer-led project, and you must have never won the grant before, and your project budget must be less than 100 10,000 US dollars. What I mean by that is that the money they are giving you is what 500 US dollars. So if your project is bigger than 10,000 US dollars, you look as if the money they are going to give to you will not make any impact in your project. So it's not necessary. So in your proposal or in your application, make sure that the money you are requesting for, the money in your budget is not more than what 10,000 USD. And also you need to have a account that can what receive wire transfer. So if you don't have domiciliary account, make sure that you can create one. You can create one. It doesn't take you much to create. I didn't even spend money when I create a domiciliary account. So when you are want to be ready to be receiving grants, you need to have a domiciliary account because there are so many opportunities in dollars, in pounds, in euros. So you need to have a domiciliary account to benefit from those opportunities. So you need to be ready on this. So, but you can first of all apply first. Once you apply and you are being selected, so you can easily create a domiciliary account in less than a week and submit during when needed. So that's it. So the next thing we are going to look out for again is other eligibility. Now, these people there are things that they are more interested in. There are things that are more interested in. They have their own policies. So I don't joke with those policies. And what are those policies? I'm coming. I think I misplaced something. Okay, what are those policies? They don't want a project that engage in political party or election work. So I don't want people that will start using their money to start funding the campaign. No, that is not what they are giving you money for. So and also they are vegetarians. That's what I've understand from them. They are vegetarians, so want they don't want you to involve in projects, animal or agricultural projects. They are not interested in that. So they're not interested in you putting involving in animal agricultural project like buying of honey business, maybe poultry or goat farm, pig farm, all those things that they are not interested in it. But you can target all these other crop projects which can also scale through, even though if you are in the area of agriculture, these are areas that they're not interested in. So and also they don't fund religious active evangelism. Maybe you want them to fund your project, so you go and start doing evangelical outreach in your being you in your church or in your mosques. So they're not interested in that kind of thing. They're also not interested in academic research or all these donations. So these are things that you must take note of when applying for these grants. Hope you understand. So now there are some of the questions that they ask in the application. So I will just talk about those questions and give you some tips on how to answer those questions. So one of them is, there's a one of the common question there is, tell us about yourself and what inspired you to lead that project. When you see a question like this, tell us about yourself and what inspired you to lead this project. What is more of what? Storytelling. It's more of what? Storytelling. You share a story. You share a story. In that story, you apply, you highlight what I told you from the beginning. You connect, you connect yourself with the project. Share a story of what led into that project. I just shared one initially for you. How uh, how someone involved, due to he have grown up in the community, and he have experienced a lot of young teenager dropping out from school because of what? Early pregnancy. So it's a story. So look out for stories that what? That related to your problem. You share those things. Share it because it's very, very what? Important. So in that story, you highlight how your personal connection, and also highlight the what? The value you are what? You want to what? To impact in your project. So it matters a lot. So another question there is what? Tell us about your project. Now, in this question, this is a pure specific question. So when you are defining something like this, you need to be specific, because one, this is a project. So whatever in solution you are giving must be specific, must have a time bound. So like I just give a tips here. And what is that tips I give you? That we have host 5 co-education workshop in Kano for 100 students within 5 months to increase awareness of what? Reduction. This is just a brief concept. I just summarize this. When you are developing your application, you have to make sure that they are what? They are in detail. Hope you are following. So make sure that when you are describing this, the project you are describing is smart. What I mean by smart, make sure that what? It is specific. You cannot target all the whole country or the whole society. Make sure that you can target a particular region or a particular state, because one, the money you use is small money. So you don't need to start going far and do a lot of things. So, but just the project that you know that can be scalable. What I mean by scalable is that as time goes on, you can what? Expand the initiative to other states, to other communities. So that is what I mean. Make sure that the project is specific. Make sure that the project is time bound. If you watch from the example I just gave to you, we host 5 eco education workshop. 5, I mentioned it, in Kano, a location for 100 students. So we are targeting 100 students to create an impact for what? 100 students within 5 months. Time ban. The duration we are targeting to achieve this with 5 months. Then the outcome, to increase awareness of what? Reduction. So when you're describing it, you should also what? Mention your outcome or the impact that solution is going to what? To give. I hope you are following. If what I'm saying is making sense, please, I want you to indicate. Okay, okay, I can continue. So you must understand this very, very well. So the next thing is, what step what step will you take to what? To carry out this project. What step will you take to carry out this project? So what they are expecting from you to write here is the objectives, the activities, and the timeline. Now in detail, they want you to expound. So now that project you are writing on, what are the objectives of that project? You state it there. What activities is going to be involved in that project. You state those activities there. So when you are mentioning objective, put in figures, not just mention the objective, put in numbers. Let numbers be mentioned there. The activities too, let numbers be mentioned there. Don't just mention an activity like that. Put in numbers and put in what timeline on what you the time you expected to what to achieve it. So this is what they expect from you. So you state it there, the objective, activities, and what timeline. Now another key question there is what is the project impact? What is the projected impact of your project? The aim of every project is to what? To bring a change in a particular situation or a particular business or a particular activities or a particular society. So they expect you to mention the impact that your solution or your project is going to make. Like I use an example here. We are expected to plant 20 palm fruit trees. Now the impact is reducing erosion in the community and also economic what development. You can expand more on it. So when you are mentioning your impact, put numbers. What the project is going to do, what the impact is going to create. Put numbers, put the outcomes. So these are things that they want to hear from you. And also mention how you are going to what track those progress. Don't just mention because they are also interested how you are going to be sure that this project will what create that kind of impact. So you mentioned that yes, I'm going to track this. This can be you're going to track this through surveys, through testimonials or feedbacks from your target audience. So this within so time. So you mention all those things. These are things they also want to what hear in this question. Now there are other tips that can also help you in making your application stand out in this pollination grants. One, you have to make sure that your project have realistic goals and have high community involvement. I mentioned high community involvement. These are what they are interested in. High community involvement. So make sure that your project achieve that. And also keep your your budget modest and detailed. Make sure that your budget is modest and detailed. Okay. I think very soon the time will be up. So once the meeting ends, I will encourage you all to what to join with the other links that will just finish in less than 30 minutes. We'll be through with this webinar. Or I say less than 20 minutes, not even up to 30 minutes. So after these sections, the next thing is time for question and targets for each individual. So that's it. So I'll continue. Make sure that what the project you are going to submit have what high community involvement. It must not be a physical project. If it's a visual project, just make sure that it have high community involvement, visual community involvement. So keep the budget modest and detailed. Don't put in money that is not requested for. Like an example now, like in your budget, you start putting things like personal payment, synthetic chemicals, plastic disposables. There are so many restricted items that they mention. It's more detailed in their website. So all those restricted items, make sure that you don't include it in your budget. And now the major important thing in a project like this is when you are writing this kind of project, what they call heart and data. Heart and data. Now, from my experience in writing grants, data alone is not enough. Data alone is not enough. So you need to know how to find a way of combining heart and data. What I mean there, a blend of what emotion and what. community and your data driven impact. The research you have done, data you have gotten, and you blend it with what? Emotion. In grant writing, there's what they call qualitative datas. There's what they call quantitative datas. When you talk about quantitative research or datas, then you talk about research that you got online about that particular incident. Maybe according to UNICEF, according to this, you state the year and the report. These are quantitative. But what makes a grant application stand out is a combination of both qualitative and quantitative evidence. And qualitative evidence are mostly what? Storytelling. Storytelling. Your testimonials, people's response, people's so but for this application, let the story be what? Connected to you. You the founder, you the initiator of that application. Let the story what? Be connected to you. Hope you are following. So that's it. So with this, in conclusion, I wish we can. Got in conclusion, winning grant can be competitive, but with the right strategy, preparation, and compelling storytelling, you can what? Make your application, especially this pollination grant application, stand out. So I'm going to give room for question. So if you can answer the whole question before the time elapse, fine. I'm going to give room for question. If you have any question I want you to ask. Dave, do you have any question? Muna, do you have any question? Uh, since you don't have any question, I'll say thank you very much for today class. So we all are mandated to what? To start answering this, to write on this. I'll be expecting your applications this week, this month, before the end of this month. You send it to me for to review, then before you can submit. So I expect that from you. Thank you very much for this wonderful section. Any other question, you can also chat me up on WhatsApp. Then we can continue from there. So thank you very much. Nice having spent this wonderful moment with you. So I want you to be dedicated in your application. I'm looking out to work with each and every one of you. Dave, what you sent to me, I'm going to go through it today. Then tomorrow I'll give you feedback on it. So and also, Vincent, I want you to work on something. Muna, I will shut you up. I will be needing for I saw